Greetings adventurers, I'm Dragroth and welcome to something a bit different from what I usually do. Normally I play games on camera and talk about them, but this time I've already played the game. I've played it way too much. The game in question is called Vampire Survivors. I've always been a fan of roguelikes, there's no denying it. I saw this game on my Steam page a long time ago and I took a look at it and thought, it's pretty cheap so I'll give it a chance. Now I'm forever hooked on it. Vampire Survivors is not your traditional roguelike, it's more of a roguelite if you ask me, but I'll get into the deeper mechanics later. For now, let's talk about the gameplay. So the whole game revolves around your ability to move, and that's it. Your character automatically attacks and you just move around, dodging enemies, finding the most efficient path to kill more of them. That's the entire game. But it gets much deeper than that. There are tons of characters to play, and there's so many stages and secrets. Everything has its own lore and uniqueness to it, and very few roguelikes have that, and that is initially what caught my attention with Vampire Survivors. The vast amount of characters, all with their own stats and weapons, make every single playthrough unique. But there's even more to it than that. As you play, you'll earn gold between your runs, and you can use that gold to purchase upgrades that'll give you a boost to all of your characters. The vast amount of playable characters is amazing. All of them have their own stats and weapons, and every single playthrough is unique because of that. But there's even more to it than that. As you play, you'll earn gold between your runs, and you can use that to purchase upgrades, and all of which will give you a boost, a good buffs, to give you an advantage in all of your future runs. Want to try the same run, but with different upgrades, without having to sit there and grind gold and buy new stuff? No problem at all. In Vampire Survivors, you can actually reclaim all the gold that you spent on upgrades, and use it to purchase different ones. It's a great way to try new builds and also see what fits best for your playstyle as well as the different characters that you can play. Being able to refund your gold early game and purchase different upgrades is absolutely useful, especially when your only goal is to survive until the time limit for each stage. Because after the timer runs out, Red Death will come for you, and it's game over. But with every death comes progress, because every time you die, you'll have that experience and that knowledge, as well as any gold that you have. Speaking of which, every single time you unlock an achievement, you'll earn new content for the game, whether it be weapons, characters, or even stages. So there's plenty of ways to keep mixing and matching your runs and creating unique experiences throughout your playthrough. Every stage in the game boasts unique relics that will give you permanent upgrades for every single one of your runs. Some of the upgrades are minor, like a map when you pause the game, but other relics will even make characters evolve once they reach certain levels, making them more powerful. Even the most basic weapons can be upgraded. When you match any weapon to their specific item and pick up a chest, it can evolve. This evolution will give your weapon a major buff and can mean the difference between life and death in most of your runs. Upgrades go even further than that in this amazing game. Once you reach the later game, you'll start getting golden eggs, and these golden eggs will permanently upgrade your character by a small amount. This can add up over time, but do beware, as they can also make the enemies more powerful too. Don't even get me started on the music. It is grade A eargasm material. The tracks are perfectly matched to the stages and settings that they portray. The sounds were crafted with tons of care and are perfectly complemented by the game's retro style. The best track in the game, though, is called Treasure Sea Jingle. I wanted to stray away from spoilers, secrets, and the lore of the game, mostly because piecing together the lore is actually a great part of the experience. So, I'm not going to be covering story here in any form. Now, there is DLC to this game, but it doesn't change any of the gameplay itself. Instead, it adds new content to expand upon what's already here in the game. But there are 2 DLCs and a third one on the way, but the DLCs are well worth the price. The base game is only $5, and honestly, I would pay double that. And the DLCs add a great amount of content and are fairly cheap as well, only being $2 each. That, in my opinion, is an amazing steal. And what makes the value of the game even greater than that is it is constantly being updated, adding new content, secrets, more, everything.
They've even released a new game mode called Adventures Mode recently, and I haven't even gotten to play it, and yet I still love it. Seeing that the new DLC is a crossover with Among Us, I can honestly see the game growing far more than I would have ever imagined, and I'm wondering what other crossovers and great content might come to the game in the future. Altogether, Vampire Survivors is an amazing game. Sure, it'll kick your butt for a while, but once you master its easy-to-learn mechanics, you can become a true vampire survivor.
Also, the game doesn't have vampires.
It's a great game, go buy it!
Thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please do let me know in the comments what you think of this kind of content. I'm kind of new to this, so I'm exploring my boundaries here a little bit. And thank you all for watching and listening in on what I had to say about Vampire Survivors. And, as always, we'll see each other again in our next adventure. Until next time, my friends.